Well, Damien, you're trading the red for the purple. You must be excited to start here at Freo.
Yeah, I really am. I've been weighing it up now for a little bit of time, and the longer I thought about it, the more motivated I was to get amongst the elite environment through sport and the Fremantle Dockers. I genuinely believe they can do something special, and so if I can be a small part of that, it was hard to turn my back on, and now I'm down here wearing the purple polo. It's starting to sink in, and it's very exciting.
I believe you've been a long-time Freo supporter since moving to WA as well. Is that right?
That's correct. I did not know a thing about the AFL growing up in country New South Wales, where it's all rugby league territory. But the day I moved to Perth, my cousins from Rockingham, they picked me up from the airport. They handed me a Freo Dockers Guernsey, and they said, "Here's your Guernsey. This is your team. Now let's take you for a tour of the city." So there was the priorities. Firstly, who you're following in the footy, and it was the Dockers.
And you're obviously pretty well known for your NBL and Wildcats days, specifically here in Perth. But are you excited to bring those qualities over to Freo?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot of things that transcend what sport you're playing and some of the lessons you learn in life as well as sports. So I was very lucky to have played for the Wildcats for a number of years and learn from my teammates, learn from coaches, and then from people in the general public. So just trying to apply some of the lessons I've learned and continuing to grow and be educated in that industry. And hopefully I can apply them to some of the individuals within the Freo Dockers Club.
And you've got to come through the facilities today and meet a few people. What have you sort of made of it all?
Oh, it's brilliant. It's very impressive. It's not just what you see on the footy field, it's everything else going on behind the scenes. So the team itself, I've been very impressed by in the early days. And former coach of mine, Rob Beveridge, he used to say the success of a club, it should be player-driven, coach-supported, club facilitated. And I think this club is going to tick all three of those boxes.
You sort of touched on it a bit before, but obviously a lot of your leadership skills in your playing days were on the court. How are you going to look to sort of transition those to an off-field sort of role now?
Yeah, I'm not coming in with any preconceived ideas whatsoever. I'll be a fly on the wall in the early days, just learning how JL goes about his thing as a senior coach, seeing what the leadership group does from the playing side of things, and then getting to know the other players who are just as important regardless of their role within the team. So big believer in know your role, embrace it, do it to the best of your ability, and then trying to find a way of how I can potentially help.
The playing group as a whole is quite young, but specifically the leadership group are a fairly young bunch. Are you looking forward to working with them?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually caught up for a coffee with Alex Pearce, and I got to pick his brain about how he sees himself as someone who I believe is good enough to be an All-Australian, but also how do you juggle that with being the skipper of a club and all the expectations that come with it. So I'm really excited to work alongside AP, see how he treats life as a captain, but also that leadership group, because they are young, extremely talented, and it's almost a juggling act of how do you get the best out of yourself, but also bring others along for the ride so you can achieve something special together.